Hello and welcome. It's lovely to see you all again. And I'm excited because today we have a very interesting interview with James Dand, who is an empowerment coach, and he has an album of empowerment songs that you might have already seen or heard of. And James is one of the people I really wanted you to listen to and get to know, because James has been a long-term friend and colleague. And I know his work quite well, and I really do think it would suit most of my clients. And if you're thinking of working with me, I think you'll find this really exciting. One aspect of James's work is as a development coach, but he brings music into it. He is a musician, a songwriter, and it's an element that we all relate to, isn't it? We all dance and sing about, and it changes our mood. So I've invited James along to talk about our mindset and how music in particular can change that, and how we can use that as a tool to change the way we're feeling and actually improve our lives, and so move forward with all the coaching, etc., in a positive light. And I'm also going to ask James to explain how he incorporates that into a routine. And you know, I'm always hot on having a morning routine to lift your mood and to excite you, and James was going to help us with that, so I'm really pleased about this. So James, how are you?
I'm great, thank you, Victoria. And you?
I'm good, yes. I'm excited to have you here. It's nice of you to spend some time with us. So let me see, what do you think is important about music and mindset? What can music do to change our mindset, and how does that work? What do you think?
Yeah, thank you. So basically, I mean, you probably all had experiences of music changing your mindset. It might be at a party when your favorite song has come on and you've been sitting down and you decide to go and rave it up and start dancing. It might be during a film, a movie. You're watching a loving scene, a sad scene, and all the music is playing in the background. And you know, the interesting thing is, if you were to mute that music in that film, it wouldn't be half as effective. It wouldn't create so many of those feelings. So music really has a big influence on our feelings, on our emotions. It can change our states, and it can be something that's done pretty quickly as well. So before this interview, I want to make sure that I'm in a good state so that I can answer questions and, you know, have high positive energy. So all I do is I put a bit of music on, and that, you know, changes my state. So yeah, it can be used in so many ways.
That's interesting as well, because I use music obviously for meditation, for calming people with stress. I use it in my car. I influence my grandchildren and my family by playing classical pieces and pop and all kinds of things. So how does this manifest in your work then? How do you introduce that to your clients?
Yeah, thank you. Very similar to what you've just said there. So within, for example, a coaching session, I will involve music to, again, create different feelings. So I will use music if I'm getting a client to go into a meditation or a visualization. Again, that music could be used to calm people down. I might even play music at certain frequencies, which align with the different chakras of the body and things like that. So I use that as well. Client isn't always even aware of, you know, what I'm sort of doing with that. We can use music again to lift the client as well, lift their mood. You know, things like I have, for example, a forgiveness ritual where we're going through the different phases, if you like, different steps. And what I do is I put a different piece of music for each of those steps. So depending upon the question I'm asking, it links to that step and how I want that client to feel, and it works really effectively.
Oh, sounds really good. I know I've experienced some of your music in the past as well. So it's a creativity aspect, isn't it? But I suppose what a lot of my clients have problems with is, but the point that they come to me is they don't have a routine. And it's very important, I think, to establish some kind of routine that suits your personality and your needs at the time for lots of different reasons. So what kind of routine do you promote, and how does that work? how do you introduce music to that? Do you introduce music to that routine? And how would you get your clients moving to start with, or up and about in a good mindset?
Great questions. Thank you. So routine, I mean, to start with, I'll point out everybody does have routines. So if you're talking about morning routines, as an example, because I have morning routines, I have evening routines, and I try to put in certain routines throughout the day as well. So let's just take morning routines. Everybody has a morning routine because they will brush their teeth in the morning, they will shower or whatever, and generally it's done in a similar order. So everyone has a routine. What we want to do is we want to add some other elements into it, or maybe take some elements out of that routine as well, to start your day off effectively. So yeah, so my routine would be to wake up, and generally what I do, I might just pop to the loo, but after that I will put a set of earphones on and I will do something which involves music. So that could be a meditation, it could be a gratitude exercise. I've created some resources myself which I listen to. I've actually got like a morning routine kit with several resources, and there's a meditation there that sort of takes me through, again, different phases: gratitude, visualizing the future, love phase, you know, all these different phases. And again, it's all done to music. So rather than sort of waking up and then instantly we've got all the stresses and the strains of the day, and I need to do this, and let me check my emails, and let me check these messages, etc. You know, it's just a case of, right, that can just wait for the minute. Let's just sit down or lie down. Let's, you know, focus our minds, focus on how we want the day to go or our future to go, etc. So music can be used that way. I will point out, perhaps one of your listeners is thinking, oh yeah, but you know, my kids wake me up and I've got no time for that. And I can relate, you know, I've got 2 children myself, I can relate. So what I try to do is obviously do that first thing if I can. If I can't, I try to come back to it. If not, even if you're sort of busy dealing with kids or family or getting ready for work or whatever, you can still obviously involve music. You can still have things like, you know, it could be guided meditations, even if you're not meditating, or affirmation tracks, or just music to make you feel good in the mornings as well. And you can do that, you know, when you're showering or getting ready or whatever. So there's lots of different ways you can use it.
So can you give us some examples of the type of music that you would use, or that you think most people prefer for different things? Something that would switch on the mindset quite quickly. You like to work quickly too, and I think most coaching is about getting results as quickly as possible. So yeah, have you got any good examples?
I think it all depends upon what the purpose is. So for example, if I am meditating, if I've got time to meditate, I'm not going to put on some heavy metal music, you know, I'm going to put that relaxing music on. And also there are other special types of music for that: brainwave frequency music, brainwave entrainment music, stuff like binaural beats, isochronic tones, which you may or may not have heard of. So there's some specific things that you can use for meditation, or just go on Spotify and just, you know, relaxation tracks, meditation tracks. That's all good. If you're looking to get yourself going in the mornings, again, you might have some of your favorite music. It could be dance music, it could be rock music, it could be Motown, whatever. I think it is a little bit of a personal thing with music. I think it's important for you to listen to music that will actually excite you and get you inspired and motivated. As well as the tune and the beat and all that, you also got to take into consideration the lyrics as well. Perhaps you're someone that does listen to the lyrics a lot, or perhaps you're someone that doesn't so much. Either way, they're still going to go into your mind, and it's always good if you've got some positive lyrics as well. But, you know, some people will want to focus on the lyrics a lot more. So, for example, one of my songs that I actually wrote, it is called, what is it called? I haven't listened to it for a little while actually, but sometimes I use that within a morning routine. It's called Today Is My Life. That's the name of it. And it's all about saying, right, you know, today is my life. Today counts. Today matters. I'm going to be the best I can be. So sometimes, haven't for a while, but sometimes I will include a song like that to really kind of sing along to and really use the lyrics in that way as well. So yeah, I think it really does depend. Think about how the music is affecting your mood. What kind of mood do you want? Do you want relaxed mood? If so, you need appropriate music. If you want to, get yourself energized in the morning, wake yourself up, then again, appropriate music for that.
Yeah, thank you for that. It's really interesting because I'm really sensitive to change of genre and beat on the radio. So I tend not to have the radio on because it annoys me when they change. I'm in a happy mood, they've got me in a great mood, and then they put something else on. I go, no, change it. And I think it is about taking control and being aware that other people's choice of music is influencing you or the children. I think the whole thing about movies, etc., is the fact that the suspense is built up by the music more than what's actually being seen. So taking control of your mindset means taking control of all the input that comes in from outside, doesn't it?
It does, absolutely, yeah. And I was just going to say, sorry, before I talk about that, Victoria, I was just thinking this might be useful.
Oh, yes.
If I just quickly go onto my Spotify, for example, and you may or may not have Spotify, but if I just go in my library and have a look at some of the stuff I've got, I have energy building songs, and it's just a playlist that I've created. A lot of that, I'm not a lover of sort of dance music, but kind of their sort of pop tunes, dancey type music. I've got that for when I want to raise my energy, when I want to feel good. These are all feel good songs. I have relaxation type music. I have music for studying and concentration. So if I'm doing work on the computer, stuff like Baroque music, classical music, that's great as well. I've got piano, guitar music, all those things. And I've just created those playlists so I can access them anytime. So again, find out what works for you, find out which songs you like, and then you can create your playlist, perhaps, if you've got that function, and then you just, it's so easy nowadays, isn't it, just to go for it. But
that's great advice. Yeah, great advice. I think far too many people don't organise their music. They'll organise their kitchen unless they're watching somebody on the television who's talking about decluttering, and then they get inspired. But when part of coaching for my clients is actually compartmentalizing things so that they're overwhelmed, sense of overwhelm is about getting rid of things, streamlining, and then categorizing. And it takes time, and it takes time for me. So that time for me, time out for me, can include setting up a terrific playlist for all the moods so that you don't have to think, I'm spiraling down, I don't feel so good now. I felt good half an hour ago, but now I don't feel so good. I'm worried about this, I'm worried about that. And then play something that something will come on the radio or the television, which will usually exasperate that. Whereas you can think, right, I've got tools that will get me out of this, and I can press a button and I can have something intermediate just to raise me a little bit, and then I can have full pelt dancing around the lounge music. And it's about control, isn't it?
It is, absolutely, yeah, because everything goes into our minds, like we say. So if it's the news, if you've got all the depressing news on, that's going to start to wear you down, bog you down. If it is screaming children or, busy environment, particularly if you're an introvert and you don't like those kind of things, then again, it's going to sort of wear you down, really. So yeah, I think that's it. I think it's trying to control your environment. It could be through the use of positive quotes, posting those up anywhere. It could be through reading inspiring stories or inspiring books. It could certainly be through music as well. And yeah, sometimes I'm playing my music out loud. Sometimes I've got earphones on. If I'm doing washing up or something, I don't enjoy the washing up, so often I will try and put some music on to make, sometimes make those tasks a little bit more bearable, a little bit more enjoyable, of course.
But one of the things I do to change my mindset, because I can be, you don't know, you have to watch your thoughts, don't you? You do have to think about what you're thinking. And one of the things I do is I change the lyrics to songs. So I like to sing, I Can See Clearly Now, and I've got all different lyrics. So that it changes my mindset, and I can't help but smile. But I know you work with your clients like this, about bringing their own song out. I can't make up a tune. I can take somebody else's tune and an idea of what their gist of their song is and change it to make it fit what I want to be and what I want to become. in my mindset and my energy set. But you're helping people to write their own songs as well, aren't you, as a form of creative release?
Yes, I'm starting to do that. And actually, as you were saying that, do you know what the first thing, when you were saying about changing the lyrics to songs, the first thing that came into my mind was, if you know the song Puff the Magic Dragon, which has a very unhappy ending, and my dad used to play me this, and I used to start crying when I was a kid, and he had to create another verse, you know, a happy verse where it all works out well in the end. So yeah, that just came to my mind, that we can do that. There's nothing to stop us actually doing that. And yeah, something I've written music for different speakers, trainers, events, etc. I've written songs, I've written pieces of music and actual songs with lyrics as well, branded songs. But something I'm working with my clients now is helping them create their songs. So I'm sort of facilitating that process. Now, what this actually does, one, it's creativity. It's like play. It's like, you know, we like to do that as a child. We play, we're creative, so it's, you know, got lots of health benefits, etc. Also, secondly, it's a way of expressing yourself, and this has been a big thing for me. I have written songs to express myself, how I'm feeling at that time. I've written songs about lost love, I've written songs about gained love, and I write, you know, empowerment songs which really kind of empower me as well as other people. So it's very important that people feel that they can express themselves, and sometimes they find it hard to express themselves through talking to other people, but they might find it easier to, you know, create a poem or create some lyrics, create some songs. They might have an idea of a bit of a beat they'd like, or a bit of a tune, and it's, yeah, absolutely amazing for them to actually be able to do that.
And I think, again, it's about mindset, choosing your own mindset. So what do you think mindset is? What is a mindset? What is a positive mindset? How does that work?
It's interesting, because one thing I'll say straight away is, I'm not a believer in that everything's positive and everything's good and everything's wonderful and it's all rainbows and unicorns and things like that, because no, there will be things in our life which we don't like. However, everything in actual fact is neutral, and it's how we perceive it, it's how we understand it. So if we take a certain negative situation that we've framed as negative, in actual fact, there will always be a lot of positives to be had from that as well. I'm actually working that with someone right now who's had a certain issue going on, and what I'm getting her to do is look at what are all the positives of that issue. And to start with, it's like, I can't think of any. Surely there's no positives. But in actual fact, if you keep searching, there will be positives. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to take that negative issue and at least make it neutral. And the other thing we can do is we can have what is known as a growth mindset. And a growth mindset might say something like, okay, well, I haven't achieved that yet, but I can achieve it. Whereas, you know, a pessimistic mindset will say, oh, well, you know, I didn't pass that, I didn't achieve that, I didn't do what I wanted to do. Whereas a growth mindset is saying, okay, well, I haven't got there yet. What can I do to actually get there? Because I know I can improve. I know I can keep working on myself. I know I can grow, I can develop, and I can actually use this experience, this failure, if you like, as a lesson to learn and grow and develop more. So when I talk about positivity, that's really what I'm talking about. I'm not positive all the time. I have to really work on my mindset. I can quite easily go negative, but it's more like an empowering thing where we can then look at those negatives and say, okay, well, how can we learn and grow from those and actually turn them into a positive?
That's very important what you said there, James, is that it's not important to be positive all the time. It's about turning negative and looking for that silver lining and understanding how you can take it forward. And I appreciate that sometimes when I've had a blockage or something's hit me in my life, it's about having the resilience. And I think coaching is about teaching resilience and having the tools to make life more interesting and more beautiful, more happy. And not to dwell too long, because I can still go down about some of the things that I've lost in my life and be miserable. But and I'll play some Amy Winehouse or something like that, but I'll only do it once or twice. So I might go through some of Roy Orbison's music, you know, and some of his sad songs. Things that touch you in the past, it's good to have memories, but it's not good to dwell there, because they don't allow you to grow, and life is for living and life is for giving. And yeah, I totally agree with you there on that. I think that's brilliant. Thank you.
Yeah, no
Thank
problem. I would totally agree. It's okay to not be okay sometimes. You
you.
have got to go through those negative emotions, maybe the anger, maybe the sadness. You've got to allow yourself to sort of feel those, but then, like you say, have the tools and the strategies to get you back out of it. That's the
Yeah, and I think it's one of the problems with a lot of health and healers and health workers, etc., is there's a lot of empathy. There's a lot of empaths, and the problem with being an empath is you can be so sensitive and take on other people's feelings, their mindsets and their stories, and it's learning to separate yourself from those and realize this is a reflection of your own life. It's when I meet someone and they're talking to me about something, I think, oh, is this touching something I'm dealing with at the moment? And look for a lesson, or look for some juice in there, look for some truth, and reflect on why I've attracted that in my life. Why have I attracted this particular story? And again, bringing back to the watching the news and the television and the media, especially the media online, because you can flick a switch to see something curious about a celebrity, and then next thing you know, you're off down a rabbit hole, down into all kinds of negative, rubbish news, and you've wasted half an hour of your life. So just don't do that. It's great. Well, thank you for that then, James. Can you tell us how we can contact you, how anyone can contact you if they'd like to get into some writing, some songwriting, would like to know about how they could buy your album, your empowerment songs, and how they might like to work with you for further mindset training? And also tell us if you've got any events or anything that you'd like to promote at the moment.
Thank you, Victoria. Yeah, so easiest place really is to start from a website. So it's inneranthem.com. So INNER anthem ATHEM.com, and you'll be able to navigate through that. So I've got various products. I've got, like I say, the morning routine kit. I've got a free visualization which involves music called the Ring of Light visualization. So I think that could be good for people who experience the power of music. So you can download that from the website as well. If you want to connect with me, you can do so via email. That's info@inneranthem.com, or find me on social media, jamesdand/inneranthem. And again, hopefully you should find me. I'm most active on Facebook. But yeah, please do get in contact if you've got any questions or anything like that. And yeah, hopefully I can answer them for you.
Well, I think you've inspired people, and I know I'm going to go and play some music right now. I think music is so important. And just as another thing, you do jingles for businesses, don't you, and radio and things
I have
like
done
that.
in the past. Yeah, it is something I sort of have the ability to do. So yeah, definitely.
Great. Well, thank you very much. And I hope all of you will go along and think about your music that you're playing today and how sound affects you, and think about your mindset and how you can empower yourself with positivity and sensitivity and make it all beautiful. So I look forward to seeing you all again soon. And thank you very much, James Dand, Inner Anthem. Thank you, James. Bye-bye.
Pleasure. Thank you.